it's a big question mark. And I'll throw one more thing in the loop for you to comment on is there's also the whole question about the chips bill, right?
Mhm.
Which was this highly touted thing, which I thought the Trump administration was in support of insofar as bringing manufacturing back to the US, which is what the chips bill is all about. But I'm pretty sure I read something that he is, talking about repealing that or pushing for its repeal. And I'm not positive on that one, but so it's like again going back to the whole uncertainty of where this all lands. But I think the hardware side of things, with these talks of tariffs, with a potential deprioritization of the chips bill, that could have a very negative impact on a lot of the building that still needs to happen to support all of these AI workloads.
Yeah, so two related areas around domestic capability to support the technology world. I'll start with the chips bill. The part I find interesting about that is that it was designed really to help Intel, but also to help domestic semiconductor and hardware markets in general. But here's the thing: a lot of the spending associated with that bill still has not been done yet. So part of this is we're going to see if there's a race to get all that pump that government money into the U.S. Uh, companies over the next couple of months before the Trump administration comes in, which could be this weird flood of money because it wasn't supposed to happen this fast, but who knows? But if that doesn't happen, I would expect that Trump pushes the Senate, which is a Republican Senate, and obviously will work smoothly with Trump in a lot of areas. I would expect they would try to push back the CHIPS Act and try to bring that money to be focused in different ways. Obviously, uh, Republicans will want to help out the states and organizations that helped win them the election. This is what both sides do. We tend to give political gifts to the people and the states that ended up helping us the most. Whether we do that directly or indirectly, that has always been a part of the federal government process. So I would expect a little bit of that to be happening on the chip side. Frankly, though, we all know Intel needs the help if Intel is going to remain a world, not even a leader at this point, just a world participant in tech. I think it's probably in America's best interest, to have a major player in the chip world, but I'm not sure if it's going to really happen, and I'm not sure if NVIDIA is really seen as a fully U.S. company in that regard either.
Well, I mean, we've had this conversation. I think, at the end of the day, tech is a global industry and it
Mhm.
operates globally. There isn't a single organization. For that matter, enterprise organizations all operate globally. So, I've always found this particular argument about US based or whatever sort of a bit of a red herring. But I guess my question is, do you believe then that he is interested in decelerating or repealing the CHIPS Act because it's a Biden thing? Or I mean, because this one I don't understand. I mean,
Right.
it is focused on the same things that he claims to be for, and so this one stands out to me.
Yeah, I think this is also just a Biden issue. And we saw a bit of this 8 years ago when we used to have this thing called NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement that was Obama based. So basically, we got rid of it and we replaced it with the USMCA, the United States, Mexico, Canada, whatever, which honestly was a lot of the same thing. And so when Mexico and Canada looked at this thing, they said, okay, this is 90% the same, like 10% in America's advantage. So we'll give you your 10%, and we just want to keep the borders open for free trade. And we just put the Trump stamp on it. And that's going to be a thing that happens because at the end of the day, I would think that Trump still wants to be associated with U.S. manufacturing, made in the USA, and American supported technologies. That's a pretty straightforward one. Honestly, that's something that I feel like every politician in the America should be interested in. But especially if you're trying to make America great again, that's America, right? Right? America has to make the
Well,
things that make America rich. Like that. That's just
and I
really
think
straightforward to me.
Well, and I think it's also there's a cybersecurity element of or a national security element
Yeah.
to it of having domestic chip manufacturing so that you can control the supply chain entirely, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, I agree with you. That's why I find it a little bit perplexing as to why that would be the case.
Yeah.
And I guess I should go ahead.
So I'm honestly not as worried about that side. I